All right, Steven, I think they're ready for us. You ready?
After I fix my hat.
All right, so what's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of We Got Next. We're your co-hosts for today. My name is Christian A.O. Shifty, and we got Steven, Steven_Springs on Twitter. So make sure to always follow us on social media. That's a big place you end up being able to figure out a lot of the content. As people on Twitter call it, you'll be able to hear all the alpha when it comes to sports and also cryptocurrency. Before we continue, we just want to say the giveaways that we have. We have $100 in Bitcoin we're going to give away once we hit 100 subscribers and 100 likes on any video. We have continued to grow this channel, so this is something we definitely do appreciate. We start to see it in the views of different videos that we do have up. The next thing we want to continue to do is continue to grow the amount of viewers throughout the whole video. So we'll continue to provide quality content all the way through for you all. The other one is $25 in Bitcoin to whoever can come up with the most creative cryptocurrency segment. So we do cryptocurrency in the beginning, and whoever can come up with a very creative name, just make sure to do that. Before we continue, I just thought of this because I was looking at my social media. Steven, how was the alien Abby for the day or a couple of days?
Yo, I got a lot of love. I didn't get as many followers as you did.
Mm-hmm.
But I still got a lot of love, and I appreciate that. I got like 40, maybe 20, maybe it wasn't that many, but I did want to pause real quick, and I did want to apologize to our audience because I didn't know how bad my audio was last week. Like, you told me it was bad before we came on, but you didn't tell me it was that bad.
Oh yeah, it was.
Like you didn't tell me it sounded like I was locked in a closet with no service whatsoever. And I heard it, dude. I watched the video. I watched the video on YouTube afterwards, and I was so disappointed. I was so hurt. I was so disappointed in you. I was so disappointed in myself. So I want to apologize to our fans, to the however many people that watched that video. Probably wasn't many because a lot of people probably tuned in. They were like, nope,
they heard it.
Not doing this. I'm not listening to this for now. Yeah, I'm not listening to this for an hour. So we might just throw away last week's episode and just forget about it. But that's why I'm back here at the office, home base. I was trying to explore the house and kind of see what type of feng shui certain areas of the house would give me and everything. And I know you hated how many times I moved around, but I'm here back in home base. Better connection down here. So, I don't want to apologize to our audience for that one. That was on me and you kind of.
Yo, it was crazy because I remember when you first asked, I was like, yeah, the TV's not a distraction. And then I could hear you. Then it kind of just stopped. But one thing I did want to bring up, because I don't know, did you have a Penn State shirt on last week? I feel you did.
I did. Yeah.
Yes. So bringing that up, tell everybody about the Penn State talk you'll be doing.
Yep. So we're going to be doing it, or I'm going to be doing it every week, and I'm going to try and release it on Thursdays. So like I said last week, for those of you who missed last week's episode, which I don't blame you, I'm going to be doing a new Penn State segment every week, just kind of giving you the news and notes and the lay of the land within the walls of Penn State football. Season starts next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday, the 4th, which, by the way, college football finally starts this weekend. Like, that's incredible. Good times. But it's going to be a quick 30, 40-minute breakdown of what's going on that week. We'll recap the opponent. We'll take a look at the upcoming opponent for the weekend. Head coach James Franklin has his weekly press conference on Tuesdays. So I'll give you a little bit of clip notes from that. We'll talk about the world of college football. There's always a lot going on, always moving parts of it, especially these days. But yeah, it should be cool. We'll have some guests on throughout the year, and hopefully, like I said last week, hopefully we can go 15 weeks, make it all the way to the national title game. But yeah, it'll be cool. I've always wanted to do it. So now that we have the platform to do so and the audience to do so, I know that a lot of people who are listening are not Penn State fans or maybe even college football fans. But again, like I said last week, if you need a team, if you need a college football team or want to root for Penn State, jump on the bandwagon now, because we're about to take off into the top elite echelon of college football here shortly. So get on board now. Christian's been on board for a while now. I know you still rep ODU, but
They're in two different tiers.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it'll be cool. I'll release it every Thursday, and yeah, hopefully we'll get people interacting with it, and we'll make it fun for everybody. But yeah, just a quick breakdown of what's going on within Penn State football. Talk about recruiting. Talk about the world of college football. But yeah, it'll be a good time.
Yeah. So Stephen brought up the Penn State. I just want to let everybody know that we have a bunch of different conversations coming up. So we have Redcoin that'll be taking place next week. We also have Hertz Network that will be taking place, and we're excited to end up talking to both of them. And then we have one the following week, Numio. So we have 3 coming up, and then of course, we'll always continue to lock in different ones. We will have more announcements on various different things. One thing I do want to bring up, I think that they'll be fine with us saying it. So we have locked in a partnership with McLean Community Center. That's where I work as well, with the theater. And we will be bringing in special guest CEOs from around the area to come sit there and just have a conversation. We will have a live audience. So as we continue bringing out more information for that, we'll let you know about that. The goal is to finally be able to drag Stephen into my part of the woods and have him down there for at least a couple of them. It'll be tough to do that.
Whoa. Whoa. Easy, dude. You paying for my gas?
Hey, I'll start doing that.
All right.
So when it gets to that point, I absolutely will. But just stay tuned for that. That's something exciting we will be able to talk about on the show. And for anyone out there that's wondering about sponsorship and partnering with We Got Next or Shift Movement, just reach out to us. You can find the email address below, and then we'll end up reviewing all of that and end up talking to you all, because we love to be able to show support and show love for other people out there as well. Yes,
also,
sir.
One of those out there, if anybody knows someone who knows somebody, your boy's 30th birthday is in March, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a big one. It's big 30. The Lakers come to town to play the Wizards. So if anybody wants to hook the We Got Next podcast up with some tickets, I'm not saying we gotta be courtside, but like I'm saying, close. So if there's anybody out there listening that wants to partake and maybe donate to our fund, we'll send you the info. We'll send you the bank account info. You can just send the tickets our way. But yeah, it'd be great. Just a little plug right there for the birthday.
I think that's something, Stephen, that we can even say February. I really think that that's something we should be far on our way. A big part is we have everything laid out for it, about the conversation, the interviews and stuff. It's just a matter of just getting that one person end up listening, and then everyone else starts listening to it. And then everything else ends up falling in place after that. But yeah, if you guys have hookups with that, we'll end up doing it.
I did see tickets. They were low. They were $770 a piece. So that's what we're gonna aim for. We're gonna aim for that section right there. And yeah, if anybody wants to hop on and give us a little donation, $10, $20, whatever, we
might do a GoFundMe or something.
Yeah, we might start a GoFundMe for my 30th birthday celebration. Hey, if people donate, they can join us.
Yeah, that's something we can end up doing.
For drinks, not the game, because we can't be buying out the whole arena. So if you donate, you can come get drinks with us, do dinner. We'll do a whole thing. We'll make this a big event for my 30th. Cool. Yeah, it's set now. We're done. That's it.
So I got something that somebody probably could pay for all of our tickets if we could end up getting him, or we knew him, or anything like that. So this is you see it?
Yeah.
I guess his music is going with this, but this is the billionaire owner of Chelsea FC, Roman Abramovich.
Whoa, bro, what? I can't even believe that.
The fact that it's a $600 million super yacht. I have never heard of such a thing. $600 million? You have that much money, just laying around to go put into a yacht, a boat. This is bigger than houses.
Bro, if I'm gonna buy a boat, I got some buddies, and we know some people who have boats, and they're like fishing boats and everything.
It ain't cool. That big.
No, if I'm gonna buy a boat, I'm buying that. If I have the money to do so, I'm buying that. I'm not buying a little, tugboat. I'm not buying a little paddle boat, little fishing boat. I'm buying that thing. mean, look at that.
You know how this is like a cruise ship. That's legit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's like half a cruise ship. It's a skyscraper, bro, in the water.
It really is in the water. And I'm like, first off, you know the type of sports teams we need to be buying then. Because clearly basketball, yeah, is cool and all, baseball is cool, but it needs to be those European football clubs at the rate we're looking at this. So that's what I wanted to end up showing everybody for our fast break video of the day. The next thing, and I didn't give Steven any heads up time with this. So I was looking on social media again, DraftKings, they always do like the promotions and sports bets. And the one that they did today was who has the best chance in the next 5 years to win the Super Bowl? The options are Jacksonville Jaguars, Cincinnati Bengals, New York Jets, or Miami Dolphins.
Oh man. Was there a favorite out of all the votes?
So I didn't even click on it because I was like, I'll let us decide. Personally, my decision is I'm gonna say none of them unless someone buys something. But it really depends because Joe Burrow already got injured once.
I would say Trevor Lawrence. I would say there you go.
Jack, right?
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence.
I would say the Jags. First of all, we were talking about this before we came on. They are going to get that man killed, and he's not going to see the next 5 years. And then I sent out a Twitter poll today that people watch this, go vote on it, and I'll retweet it from our show's podcast. Who's going to last longer? And I'll ask you this: who's going to last longer this season? Trevor Lawrence or Urban Meyer? Because if you saw the game last night, Lawrence was getting killed. I think like the first 5 or 6 plays that he was passing on, he was getting sacked or pressured or somehow went down on the ground. Secondly, if you watch the game, and every time they showed Urban Meyer, I saw someone tweet this, and it's not funny, but like just because of his history, it looked like he was ready to fake a heart attack at any time to get out of the rest of the season.
Oh,
that man just looked like, at some points they showed him, it's the Jags. Like, I don't know what people are expecting them to really do this season, but every time they showed him, it just like the look on his face was, I made a huge, huge mistake. And this is going to be a long season.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a long season for them.
It really is. So it's different. College is very different than the pros because in college, you can try as hard as you want to either buy your way to get the players there, do a lot of things within notoriety and stuff. If you're going to get the number 1 pick, you're more than likely not going to be the best team. There's rare times. It was not too long ago, whereas one team was in like the top 5 and they made it to the championship, but they were a good team. They just weren't good that year. Like Golden State, that's a good example when they end up getting like James Wiseman and stuff. That's not happening all the time. Like they just didn't have good years, so they got that pick, but they're going to be a good team. But with like Urban Meyer, it's going to be a lot, my guy. And then did Trevor Lawrence cut his hair? Or they just had it up in there? Because I didn't see it.
God, I hope not.
I know.
No. Speaking of the Jags, though, when I told you this, Travis Etienne is out for the season with a foot injury. That's too bad.
That's one I think that you probably saw it everywhere on Twitter, but James Robinson, a lot of people are going to pick him up again because that's the only reason why I also didn't have him in my rankings, but also I wouldn't have picked him up. But now I will reconsider it because he did so well last year. And I think it was Max in our league that had him, crazy enough. And
shout out.
Yeah, shout out. But it's crazy because James Robinson did very well in the run game and also the passing game, especially with like the receivers going down and stuff like left and right. But I feel bad for Travis Etienne because it was supposed to be him and Lawrence to tag team it up there. But they have so many running backs in that backfield. So I know they have Hyde, they had Robinson, they had Etienne, and they were all like fighting for carries in the preseason. But now I think with Etm being out, with the injury he has, which is a very tough injury, it'll be interesting to see how this year plays out for him. Most people better not be thinking the Jags are going to make it to the playoffs or the Super Bowl this year. So you got to give it at least 2 to 3 years before you start seeing things. So they got to put a team around him on offense.
Yep. It's going to be a long season regardless. It doesn't matter who's who's blocking, who's catching, who's running. It's gonna be a long season for that probably.
Yeah. So next thing I want to bring up, you got CoinMarketCap for us? So
are you doing it? Am I doing it?
I got it. Don't worry.
This guy, just because I messed up last week and my audio was terrible. This dude assumes that I can't complete a simple task and bring up CoinMarketCap for him. Do it yourself then, bro. Do it yourself. I'm done with that shit. I'm done with it.
So I had it for today. The biggest things I want to talk to everybody about are Bitcoin. It's at 48,000, so it did have somewhat of a pullback, but Ethereum is one that has been going strong right now. So it's at 3,200. Cardano has been up there as well, but the most important thing everyone should end up looking at are two things. One, I want you all to end up seeing what the total market cap is. So it's over $2 trillion, the cryptocurrency space itself. Bitcoin has a market cap of over $902 billion. And then Ethereum has a market cap of over $375 billion. So just Bitcoin and Ethereum are over 1.2 trillion in itself, which says a heck of a lot. Yeah, so that's extremely important to end up just seeing there. If you want to add Cardano, you're at 1.3 trillion. But just looking at the top four, they make up a majority of it. Then, of course, you have other ones that are still up here. So you have like Luna, which is one that I mentioned on my Twitter a lot. At number 12, you have Uniswap at number 11 with $26.92 currently. Solana as well. And something that I want everyone to know and understand. After I do this, I'll give just one pick that I think everyone should look at. But a lot of times people are going to continue to look at what the price is in US dollar fiat when we have to stop doing that when it comes to cryptocurrency, because you might have made $900 to $1,000. So for example, if I was in a company, a cryptocurrency called Luxo, and then I sold and I made $200, but the price of Bitcoin kept going up, you actually only made money in American dollars. So if you want to take it and go pay somebody or do something like that, you have more money, yes. But if your goal was to end up getting more in Bitcoin, you need to look at the pairing of Luxo or whatever cryptocurrency it is to Ethereum or Bitcoin so that you can then know that your value is actually growing. That's the bigger thing to end up doing, because the dollar value is either going to stay the same or it's going to drop. So make sure to always look at it compared to Bitcoin or Ethereum. The other thing I want to end up showing everybody today is a cryptocurrency. So what I'll try and do is every now and again, I'll bring up a different cryptocurrency that you all can end up looking into. So this one is one that Shift Movement got into today. It's really, I'm pretty sure it's new, but it's called Zoracles. And what Zoracles is, it just came out. So it's been out for a little bit, since like January or so. But the bigger thing with Zoracles is just look at the circulating supply. So it only has a circulating supply of 5,400, which what that means is the more people that get into it, you don't even have to get a full Zoracle. You can end up getting a half or whatever it might be, but the price will continue to move up. It's something that I think a lot of people should look into, because the price will move quickly. It'll end up hitting the price of Ethereum very fast because the circulating supply is extremely low. It'll also start to end up hitting the price of Bitcoin because it's, like we said, it's very low. Think of it like Yearn Finance, not the exact same as Yearn Finance, but it has a low circulating supply like Yearn Finance. So that's all with the cryptocurrency on CoinMarketCap. Just want to touch on a couple of stories right now. First one is Citigroup has filed to end up trading Bitcoin futures. This is important because Bitcoin futures is a huge thing that a lot of big time institutions and companies start to do. So Citigroup has been one that's been telling their wealthy clients and different people in newsletters that they believe in Bitcoin. Another one I have to shout out is Orion Chain. This is one that we've done threads on. So that segues into our next thing. Make sure to check out the Shift Movement digital page because on there we'll put up a lot of threads. On We Got Next, we'll post a lot of the top quality content and a lot of sports there. But if you want in-depth analysis and threads written down on Twitter, just go check out the Shift Movement digital. That's where you'll end up finding different ones. Shout out to all the supporters. When we did an ultra thread, the ticker symbol is UOS. We did get 75 likes on that one. So we do appreciate that over there. But the next thing we want to talk about, and Steven, this is something that I didn't know, so I learned it, but FTX, which we've talked about before, because FTX has the naming rights now for the Miami Heat's arena, and then they also are in with the MLB. but FTX is paying $17.5 million for the naming rights to the Cal Bears Memorial Stadium for 10 years. And craziest part about that is they're paying it all in crypto, and the company, Learfield, is the rights holders, and they're accepting it 100% in crypto. What I didn't know is a lot of the stadiums in college football, or even like college basketball, well, more so college football, the big stadiums, they don't necessarily have like a naming rights sponsor type thing. I learned that. So they were saying that this was like a big thing. So now it'll be called FTX Stadium. The kicker with this is the owner and then also family members of FTX, the company, they went to University of Cal Berkeley. So that played a big part in it. Wasn't like us regular people being able to be like, yo, let me just get the naming rights. They had it inside with that whole thing to end up getting that. So it's promising because I know that in college football and probably other college sports, they have more of a say on who can buy the naming rights. So it's big because they're accepting and giving approval for that to end up happening.
Yeah, most college football stadiums are named after like former presidents. Like Penn State's stadium, Beaver Stadium, is named after former president James A. Beaver. That's most of the time how, like, same thing in basketball arenas. Bryce Jordan Center, where Penn State basketball plays, is named after, I think he was a former president, Bryce Jordan. So that's how most of them are named. There's, you know, like there's rare occurrences, like Maryland has the Xfinity Center or something like that. So yeah, there's those occurrences, but most of the time they're named after significant people of that town or the university.
So next story I want to bring up, well, the couple of ones that are big news. So Blockstream is an infrastructure company that's out there in cryptocurrency. They raised $210 million in their finance round, which brings their company valuation to $3.2 billion. So congratulations to them. You're going to start to see a lot more cryptocurrency companies continue to increase their valuations, and a lot more people end up supporting them. Sometimes you'll have these big time investors and companies that don't necessarily want to be directly involved in cryptocurrency. So they'll be indirectly involved by funding or financing or investing into these various different companies that are working in the cryptocurrency space. Another thing is, shout out to the king himself in the Bitcoin world, Michael Saylor. So Stephen, you don't have to know a lot about cryptocurrency when I tell you this story, but Michael Saylor purchased $177 million in Bitcoin, which equates to 3,900 Bitcoin, which brings his total to the amount of Bitcoin his company owns to over 100,000 Bitcoin that they have. And the amount of money that is just out of this world. So he owns over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, him and his company. And Microstrategy is based out of McLean, Virginia. It's one of those buildings that McLean has so many huge buildings that are going up. They have like Hilton around there. They have Capital One. They have Intelsat. And then you have just like Microstrategy. It's a tall building, but when you have like Ritz-Carlton, and then you have all these other buildings, the first building you see is not Microstrategy. It looks like an elevated like Superdome or Mercedes-Benz Arena. It's the same circular top, and it's just like raised like that. So it's kind of crazy, but you see like the words MicroStrategy. So congratulations, because they said that if Bitcoin were to hit a valuation, well, a price point of $100,000, that the amount of Bitcoin MicroStrategy owns would be worth more than the valuation of the company itself. So that's insane just to think about, because I think they said the company is only worth $5 to $6 billion or so, and the Bitcoin that they have is around $1 to $2 billion worth. And if it hit that, it would be worth over $8 to $10 billion worth that they had. So it's ridiculous just thinking about that stuff. I don't understand. And the funny part is, he's the one that taught me a lot about the value of the dollar, because he took out like 2 or 3 loans at an interest rate of less than 6%. And since the value of the dollar is going to decrease over time and the value of Bitcoin is continuing to increase, he took the loan out at a low interest rate, put it into cryptocurrency, where Bitcoin has increased over 100 to 200% on average each year. So that 6% APR that he's paying on the interest is nothing compared to how much Bitcoin is increasing. So congratulations to the genius himself for ending up doing that. The next thing I want to end up letting everyone know about is Deloitte. It's a very important company out there that a lot of people know about. They said that 74% of executives think that digital assets could replace fiat currency, which is like the dollar, the yen, the euro within the next 5 to 10 years. And that's something I thought was pretty cool and telling, because every single year we start to hear more about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Another story, just a politician we want to touch on really quick. So the mayor of Cool Valley, which is in Missouri, he wants to give his residents, each resident, a certain amount of Bitcoin. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but yeah, so shout out to him for end up thinking that way. And then also, with that being said, less than 3 weeks before the legal tender becomes approved in El Salvador, and everyone out there will end up being able to pay in Bitcoin. So congratulations to them. That happens before, I think, September 10th. So I'm pretty sure it's September 7th that officially goes into play. The last Bitcoin cryptocurrency thing I wanted to touching on is, so everyone out there, more than likely, if you're watching this, I'm sure that you ended up getting a stimulus check. $1,200 is what most people end up getting. Yeah. So $1,200 was a stimulus check. If you were to invest that full stimulus check into Bitcoin at the time of that stimulus check, it would currently be worth $8,700 if you would have just invested that check into Bitcoin. So everyone out there that did it, I personally split it up in like multiple different things. I wasn't able to just invest all $1,200 into Bitcoin, but congratulations if you were able to do that. The other thing I wanted to end up just touching on super fast is, there was jokes out there, but Seth Curry, you guys might have it tough this year if Mama's actually leaving. Dell, I'm pretty sure you're an NBA player, so you probably might have been doing things. Not going to go too deep into the weeds on that one, but Sonia Curry is supposedly filing for divorce. So not saying anything on that one.
Nope.
So the next thing I wanted to just congratulate was Miguel Cabrera. So he plays for the Detroit Tigers. He just got a part of the 500 club, 500 home run club to be exact. So congratulations to him. And you could tell that's a huge milestone. If anyone out there is a baseball player or a baseball fan, you could tell the bench and then the fans all knew it was a very meaningful thing for him to hit his 500th home run. We're over here talking about like Shohei Ohtani and different players that have hit 40 home runs or going in 40 home runs or 60. So you can imagine how long it takes to get to 500 home runs. That means you have to play in the league for a long time. So congratulations on that one. Yeah.
I was going to say he's a Hall of Famer. The 500 home runs doesn't mean as much as it used to. It's still like a very impressive accomplishment, but he's got other accomplishments that are worthy of him being in the Hall of Fame. So yeah, this just kind of put the icing on the cake for him.
Yeah. So next thing, just want to say welcome back, Elena Delle Donne, to the WNBA. It was a big thing. I think she was one of the most well-known players back in college, because I think she went to Delaware, which was a big thing when she was there, because the only other person that most people knew from Delaware was Joe Flacco. So that just says a lot. Elena Delle Donne just coming back, so congratulations on that. Another thing, and I was talking to Steven about this before, so a lot of people know and understand that Messi is going to play for PSG. Before we get to the Jordan news, I want to just let everyone know that PSG just put in a huge bid, like over $100 million for Kylian Mbappe. So they're wondering if he's trying to leave or what's going to happen. But if you're paying Messi that much money, Neymar going to want his cheese too. And Mbappe is going to want his money too. So this is when it goes to the point of someone's not going to get the amount of money they want. And they're all in their prime years too. So you got to figure out what you're going to do, because there's going to be a bunch of clubs out there that will be happy to end up having him. But the other thing I wanted to touch on is, so since Messi has been with PSG, they sold $140 million worth of shirts. And with that being said, since it's by Jordan has a 5% royalty in the brand, and Jordan will get $7 million at this point for the amount of jerseys that were sold. So you can just only imagine, this is just one team. So all the other teams out there that have Jordan or Jordan branded, Jordan's just always getting a cut of this stuff.
Yeah, this man better be putting some in the charity pockets, bro. Come on, don't be pocketing it all that money, bro. You got too much damn money. Put that money into some sort of charity.
Yeah, like the amount of residual income that he can just get just chilling. He can sit down, never do anything again, and 5% royalty. That's wild. And then he's owner of the Bobcats, the Hornets, It's just crazy the amount. Then all the Jordan shoes out there. And they said he's made so much more money since he's left the court than he's made on the court.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
Which is stupid crazy.
Absolutely. Of course he did.
So going off of one crazy thing to another crazy man, and congratulations to J.R. Smith. He got his eligibility to end up being a golfer at NCANT. So those parties going to be crazy because you know you're going to see J.R. Smith with a bottle in his hand, a shirt off, just going around there because he's going to act like a college student again. I think he has to be one of the most traveled, journeyed people out there. Legit was in LA. You see him with Anthony Davis and LeBron sometimes. Now he's going to be in North Carolina. Who knows where the hell he's going to end up next or what he's going to do on this earth.
He's what, like probably 30, he's like mid 30s?
Yeah.
Early 30s? Somewhere in that range. I mean, PGA Tour.
Yeah, at this rate.
Right? Get that
35.
35, yeah. So he's I mean, you can play golf forever.
Yeah.
So get your God, I hope he wins a national title. Like I hope to God he wins some. Like, I don't care if he's there for 4 years and wins one event. That'll be the greatest college golf story ever.
Yeah.
And I don't know who they play. I don't know who North Carolina A&T plays. But I don't know how you like college golf isn't televised usually. If it is, it's like the NCAA championships on CBS Sports Network or something like that. But you would imagine that they would try and televise J.R. Smith playing, like, so he's a freshman. So televise J.R. Smith playing college golf.
So for everyone out there that doesn't know this, J.R. Smith went straight to the league. So he has his eligibility and everything like that. I assume he's just going to attend a couple classes and then he's good to go. And
I heard, I think he was on, I forget what podcast he was on, but he was talking about why he made the jump from high school to the pros. He was going to go to North Carolina, I think. And someone can fact check me if I'm wrong in this, but he was going to go to North Carolina and play for Roy Williams. Now in high school, J.R. Smith was a awesome football player as well. And he was going to try and play both at Carolina. But Roy Williams said, if you're coming here, you're only going to play basketball, not going to play football too. So that's why I think he made the decision to go to the league. I'm like 99.9% sure that's the reason. Yeah, if someone wants to fact check me on that one, by all means, go for it. But I'm pretty sure that's the reason why. So shout out to J.R. Smith.
So I'll tell you a couple of teams. They have like 3 different tournaments. The NCANT will be in. So they have this was last year, so it'll probably be very similar to this year because they just finished up their season back in March or so, in April. But they had a bash at the beach, which was at Appalachian State University. Then they also had a Black College Coaches Association Invitational. And then they had the MEAC tournament. So the MEAC is your HBCUs. But teams that they did play during this, so Jacksonville State, they played UConn, Appalachian State, FAMU, so Florida AMU, Florida A&M, William & Mary, Loyola Chicago, IUPUI, someone that went there, George Hill. Then NC A&T is, of course, in it, NC Central, and then Savannah State. So those are some of the teams that all were a part of it.
Shout out to Appalachian State real quick. They had one of the nicest campuses I've ever been to in my life.
God.
So nice.
I saw pictures of it. The football stadium, I think someone showed me a picture, someone I used to work with, and they had a picture of it, like a zoomed view.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
it's so beautiful.
Like Penn State's kind of like that, how it's tucked like in the mountains kind of, but the mountains in State College, like central Pennsylvania, are very like spread out. But when you go to Appalachian State, you're like, you're in there. You're in like a pit and like surrounded by mountains. It's so awesome. I went there in the summer, taking some college visits, and it was by far the nicest campus that we stopped at along the way. It was awesome. So nice.
Yeah.
Shout out to them though.
No, it's really nice. And I'll never forget because a lot of people know Appalachian State for like their upset victories that they've had over the years, but the campus is really nice. They have great programs. I know one of the programs a lot of people go there for is like their recreation, not recreational drinking beer, even though that's a big thing that they do out there too. But with that being said, just going off of kind of football topics, and then congrats to J.R. Smith. We got to do the rankings because we have that coming up in a little bit. So, Steven, you want to start?
Yeah. So Christian likes to throw curveballs at me. Like, I thought he said we were doing 10 quarterbacks. Apparently, we're doing 15 quarterbacks. So I have 2 honorable mentions, and then I have my top 10. What are we doing? We're doing my honorable mentions, and then 10 through
up
what?
to 8.
All right. So my honorable mentions are Kirk Cousins.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. I said that's why he's an honorable mention, because I knew I was gonna get that reaction.
No, you'll understand soon.
And I have Baker Mayfield as an honorable mention.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So that makes sense.
So I crossed out a lot of names on this one, and I redid a couple of them. Just because, like, going back to when I talked about the tight ends and the receivers, it's just like, how much do I trust the quarterbacks? Like, do I really trust Kirk Cousins? Not really.
I trust the receivers, not him.
Like, do I trust Baker Mayfield? I'm getting there, but I know that last year was their best season pretty much ever.
By far,
and,
yeah.
There's really probably no reason to have him outside the top 10, but some of the guys ahead of him, I just think that they're maybe poised for a better season. And this is fantasy, so like that's what this is all about. Who's gonna have like the better seasons? So number 10, I got Kyler Murray. Okay.
Whoa. Wow.
Kyler Murray, yeah.
Holy hell.
So I think that offense can be stupid good with Hopkins and now AJ Green. I know AJ Green is like
healthy.
Yeah, I know he's like 70 years old now. Been in the league for a minute. Been hurt recently, and it was for the longest time it was him or Julio. Like it was very up in the air. So if he can stay healthy, I think that they can have a really dope season. And you forget, like, Murray's gonna scramble a lot, and they'll probably have him run a bunch. So I think he'll fill the stat sheets on both. Number 9, another surprise. The next 2 are gonna be probably big surprises. Number 9, Matthew Stafford. Okay. I think he's going to thrive.
Yeah, that's the offense he needs
in LA. I think not just the offense, but I think him just going there, getting out of Detroit, getting out of that absolute.
He's the first one to do it.
Yeah, that absolute dungeon that is the Detroit Lions. Not the city of Detroit.
No,
I'm not doing that. Shout out to the city of Detroit. I'm not. I'm better than that. I have a lot of love for the city of Detroit. I am a Pistons fan. Yeah, so I feel shout out to Detroit. Number 8, Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay.
I think I'm not saying that because I'm a Steelers fan and that I hope to God he has a good season, because I don't want to see Mason Rudolph come in the game, and I don't want to see anybody else come in the game. I'd rather have Roethlisberger throwing the ball around with no arms than Mason Rudolph coming in the game.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on Mason Rudolph. Actually, it is,
because
I'm not doing that again. But I think he's gonna have a big season. I think Najee Harris coming out of the backfield. I think tossing him the rock. I think Eric Ebron, my guy Pat Freiermuth had 2 touchdowns, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns the other night in preseason game. Roethlisberger, the word out of camp is he just looks better. I mean, last year I think everyone looked like shit. So last year was just different. They say he's in better shape this year. I mean, he's getting up there in age, and he's coming off the injury a couple of seasons ago. But he's got Juju. He's got Chase Claypool. So I think
hope Juju goes back to Juju.
Yeah, I think, again, this is fantasy football. So, like, who's poised to have a big season? Ben Roethlisberger. Now, what does that mean? Like, I'll take 35, 40 touchdown passes, and like, I think he can get over 4,000 yards. And, I think he's poised for a big season. So those are my honorable mentions: Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield. Number 10, I got Kyler Murray. Number 9, I got Matthew Stafford. And number 8, I got Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay. So before we continue with that, you brought up Rudolph. So, and it's on social media, so that's the only reason why I'm gonna bring it up. I want to say shout out to Steven's son, because that was probably one of the coolest videos I did see, because I've seen both sides of your son when he fell and then when he actually completed the scooter. So that was the first thing.
I wanna. Yeah, that's a big moment. So, anybody who wants to see this video, just go check out my Twitter feed. Posted it last night. So my son is 2.5, and he's a beast on the scooter. Obviously, like you said, you've seen the videos. He's a beast. He picked it up around 1, and which, like, you don't, like, when you have kids, you don't understand, like, them doing things at a certain age might be earlier than other kids. You kind of just, like, you're in the moment. Cool. They did this, they did that. Like, awesome. But then sometimes it's just earlier than other kids. The scooter is like that. It's hard to ride a scooter, and when you're an adult, and he was picked it up. Biggest thing was, though, he didn't know how to brake. It's just a tough thing to do. Like, when you're thinking about it, like, to keep looking forward, and then as a 1-year-old, now 2, to put your foot back there and stomp on the brake on, like, the back of the scooter is tough. So he only uses his left foot to get going with the scooter, and then he drags his foot on the ground to stop. Like, he literally burns a hole
in the shoe
through his shoe. He's gone through like 5 or 6 pairs of shoes. And we had this one shoe on this brand called Native. Shout out to them. Their shoe lasted the longest, but he finally put a hole in his shoe. So we had to kind of, like, hopefully get him going on, like, hey man, you got to use the brake. We were showing him what to do. We were, like, holding his foot, putting his foot on it and everything. So yesterday, him and I were out walking. He was scootering, and we had been scootering for a while, and he, just kept using his foot. But then all of a sudden, man, he just put that foot on the brake, and bro, I was like, oh my God. I ran up to him, gave him a big old hug. I was like, yo, dude, that's awesome. Like, I'm so proud of you. He didn't know why I was excited, but he was excited because I was excited, and, like, we're, like, cheering in the street, and it was like, it was a good moment. It was a cool moment as a parent, to see him finally, like, you just, kids just do things on their own terms. They figure things out on their own terms, and, like, you can, potty train them, which we're doing with him now, but, like, they're just going to do it whenever they feel like they're all damn well ready to do it. And he was damn well ready to put that foot on the brake. My man put that foot on the brake, slammed down on the ground. I was like, let's go, boy. Man, I was hyped. And he just, like, I kept telling him to stop just to see if he would keep doing it. And he kept going down the hill, and just right down the hill.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, I was a proud dad moment, proud parent moment. So shout out to my son. Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate the shout out.
Oh, of course. So then the other thing I wanted to bring up was shout out to one of the greatest backups ever in Charlie Batch, because I was thinking of him when you brought up Mason Rudolph, and I was like, damn, when they had Charlie Batch, they didn't have half of these problems. It was, he knew his assignment, just go in, come out, cool. That's it. So then shout out to the other backup that whenever he becomes a starter, always just gets fucked over in life, Tyrod Taylor, because it seems as though I thought of him because in Cleveland, because it's like, oh, kudos to Baker for all this. I'm like, Tyrod was there. Kudos to all the quarterbacks in San Diego. Tyrod was there. Kudos to everybody in Baltimore. Tyrod was there. And in Buffalo, Tyrod was there. And I'm like,
yo, but now my guy's in Houston. Is that right? Bro, of all the places you could possibly put that man, if I was him and his agent was like, hey bro, I got a nice 1 year, I don't know what his contract is, I'm making this up. I got a nice 1 year, $5 million deal. Oh, cool. Where am I going? Houston. No, sir.
Hell no. Retire.
No, sir. No, nope, I'm done.
Off.
I'm Gucci. I am Gucci. No way, bro. Because you know damn well Deshaun Watson is not playing this season.
No, I don't really think he is. So it'll be reflected in my rankings, but I don't really think Watson is going to be able to play. Some random stuff is going to happen. They're playing it out till the last second.
He everything that's going on, there's no way they're like the league itself, not even just like the team, but there's no way the league is going to let him play based on everything that's going on. And now the FBI is investigating it.
Yeah, that's a big thing right there.
No, sorry, dude. Your career is over.
That's what's funny
bro.
because the Eagles are like, all right, let's look into it. We're going to monitor it. They said, Jalen, you're a guy. Like, let's not even mess with that. Don't waste any picks on it. Don't do anything. Because Watson, that's going to be a story. You went from his coach out in Clemson saying that this man could be the next Jordan. Jordan didn't have these issues. And then you go from like this whole thing. So I'm like, damn, Watson, you thought you were in a quiet place and we was going to find you out. You were in probably the second or third biggest area. Everyone knows about the Dallas team, but you put Houston on the map for the wrong reasons. And we thought the owner was bad. You got yourself in some shit now.
Yep.
So, but I'll go into my rankings. So I always do like honorable mentions and stuff like that. Big Ben, I didn't have in my top 15 only because I don't know what Big Ben I'm going to get. I love having Big Ben. Shout out to when I had Antonio Brown. Shout out to when I had Juju Smith.
You're just a hater, bro. You're just a hater. You're just a hater.
So what's crazy is in my honorable mentions, I have Trey Lance because it depends on what's going to happen.
Oh my God. Get the fuck out of here. You have Trey Lance, you don't have Ben Roethlisberger?
They're both in honorable mentions. So So I have shout out to the most interceptions and touchdowns in the same season, Jameis Winston. He did good the other day. He was throwing, I think it was like Trey Callaway out there. But then I have Derek Carr in my honorable mentions as well. And the big honorable mention, not more so for fantasy implications, but because what he can end up doing with the coach, Mac Jones could be something, or he could end up being like another trade bait. Like you just get out Jacoby Brissett, you just get out Jimmy Garoppolo. Mac Jones could be another one of those, all right, let's build up the hype and then just send him out. But number 15, and it really, I think he can flourish with the Bears, but Justin Fields,
Bro. Yo, I hate you.
Number 14, I have, and I hope he can come through, Jalen Hurts. So it depends on how he ends up doing there. 13, and we have them at very similar positions. Baker Mayfield, because I don't really know what Baker's going to end up doing. But then also OBJ is coming back, so that should help. And Baker did have 26 touchdowns passing last year. I think a lot of that did have to do with OBJ not being there, so they didn't have to force feed him the ball. And Baker was able to kind of just play how he wanted to play. But he'll have to figure out what to do with having Jarvis and then having OBJ and then having the tight ends that they have out there as well. And then, of course, you got to feed the ball to Nick Chubb and then Kareem Hunt. So it's a lot that he has to handle over there. So I want to see what he does. Number 12, so we have him at similar positions, Matthew Stafford. And I put down in my notes, he's in a new system with great weapons. So I put in the top 10 or top 12 for the receivers. I do have Cooper Kupp, and then I also have Robert Woods. So those are two big ones. But then also the running back that's there, Darrell Henderson, has been getting a lot of talk over these past couple of years. It kind of, I would say, he's been able to move up as fast as he has because the injury bugs out there. Malcolm Brown, the injuries. Then you had Cam Akers, the injuries. And then also Todd Gurley, they messed up his whole career for life itself because that's just a tough situation too. Is Todd Gurley with the Falcons or is he with the Saints?
I was just about to ask you. I think he's with the Falcons still.
Okay, because I was wondering. I know they messed up. Devontae Freeman is, I think, on the Saints.
You really had Jameis and Trey Lance ahead of Ben Roethlisberger.
No, they're just honorable mentions. No.
You mentioned them after you mentioned Ben Roethlisberger.
Because you were talking about Steeler people, so I just said let me keep on the Steeler curve.
You're.
But number 11, and this could be number 99 very quickly. I have Deshaun Watson because I don't really know what's going to happen. I wanted to give him some sort of credit, but I even put in my notes, I don't know what will happen this year with him just because of everything going on.
Did you really write that down?
You probably
Did you really down? I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, my man's got notes on the iPad. Oh, God, dude. I wrote down a notepad. What are you? So you got the money over there for the
I typed production. It in on the computer and then I screenshot it onto the iPad. But so I have Deshaun Watson.
You're fancy. My man's got that shift movement money, huh?
Number 10, Kirk Cousins. But when I looked up the numbers for Kirk Cousins, he had 39 sacks. and then he had 35 touchdowns. That is crazy. Like, those are the numbers you really had, Kirk. Then number 9, it's another one. He has a lot of pressure, Ryan Tannehill. So they showed his numbers last year. He did very well, but I want to see what he's going to do adding Julio to the mix, and then seeing you still have to get the ball to Derrick Henry. So I want to see what they'll end up doing there. And then number 8, because he's not really a fantasy person for the whole year. He's more of a fantasy person per game, but Tom Brady. I had to put Tom Brady up there because he's just the GOAT, but he's not really been the fantasy person. I'm not going to say, oh, number 2 pick, let me get Tom Brady. That's all right. If like 4, 5, 6 of my quarterbacks are injured, I'll put Tom Brady in the game type of thing. So our picks were different, but we'll end up seeing how it
Yeah, our picks were as different as our skin tone is, dude.
I know.
Get out of here.
It was very different.
Get out of here, bro. I can't believe you.
So that was mine with that one. And then switching over, next week we'll end up finishing everything up with the quarterback, and then we'll probably start talking about other things. Steven did want us to bring up, we'll talk about the top 10. So can you just give everyone an overview of what this is that we're looking at?
Yeah, so it was, it's the NFL Top 100, and the top 10 is being released on Saturday. And this is no order. Obviously, it's needs to be determined, but the top 10 is just the final top 10. Mahomes, Henry, Tom Brady, Aaron Donald, Josh Allen, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, Aaron Rodgers, and TJ Watt. I would take a guess to say that either Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Donald, or Patrick Mahomes will be number 1.
I would only put Tom Brady in that 1 or 2 just because he won a championship. I don't know how they're going to vote or who's doing I know the players do the voting as well, but I don't know how they care for Tom Brady like that.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers was the MVP last year, but Aaron Donald is the best football player on the planet.
You see the fight he got into?
No. With the guy from the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
like
pulled
the
him down
way
by
he
his
just
face
kind
mask.
of, yes.
Yeah,
like,
bro, he's strong.
Yeah.
Like he's I think he's only like 6'1".
He's not tall.
285, 290. I think he's like the same.
Hell.
I think he's like the same height and weight almost as Jay Hill when he was coming out. But he is a strong dude, quick as shit. You ever seen the video of him training with his hands and the other dude's got knives?
Yeah. Oh my God.
He's just like, just swiping at him and all that. But yeah, he's the best football player on the planet. Josh Allen's on this list as well. I think he'll probably be closer to 10. But good for him for making the top 10. That's pretty dope.
Last year was huge for him.
Yeah, he got that money already. TJ Watt. I think TJ Watt is going to be the defensive player of the year this year. That's my pick. Travis Kelce is the best tight end in the league. So he's not going to be top 5, but he'll be in there. Devontae Adams benefited from having the MVP on his team. He's great receiver. Derrick Henry might surprise us on this list and end up in the top 5 just because he had 2,000 yards. And that's extremely.
He's the only running back.
Extremely rare in a league that sees 4,000 yards like it's nothing with quarterbacks. So, but yeah, I think it'll probably be some Rodgers, Aaron Donald, Patrick Mahomes, 1, 2, 3 type of thing. I think it'll be Rodgers at 1, Aaron Donald at 2, Mahomes at 3.
Has TJ Watt gotten an extension yet, or is he still on the rookie deal?
He's still on a rookie deal, but I do believe that he will be getting it before the season starts.
So I said that because looking at this list, he's the only one that doesn't have that max money.
Yeah.
So
I think
him being up there.
Word on the street from the 412 is that he'll be getting it before the season starts, which is 3 weeks from now. So he needs it.
Yeah, they'll need to lock him up, but it's also just one of those things that's crazy that defensive player of the year just gonna stay in the Watt family for years over years. You switch out in the top 10, one Watt for the other Watt.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
I would
that should
agree.
be.
I'm
I
happy
love
with Josh Allen.
Yeah. It's. I mean, he's really. I don't know what the expectations were for him. I think they were high coming out of Wyoming, and he cannon of an arm. He put in
Yes.
Buffalo. Buffalo hasn't. Obviously they picked him because they haven't been good, but they got Stephon Diggs. They're coming around. They were dope last year, so I think he's only gonna now he's got that money out of the way.
That's
Don't worry
always a
about
big
it.
thing. Yeah.
Now he got that off his shoulders. I've always wondered, and when we have Jordan on the show, we can ask him like how much that weighs on guys as they're either going through a season, knowing that the off season is going to bring that from their current team, or whether they're going to be a free agent or whatever. But how much that once that's over with and once they've signed it, they're done with it. Where that like their headspace is just heading into that season or off season, whatever. Not they got that done, but yeah, it's I love the NFL Top 100. I wish the NBA would do something like that. Maybe not like Top 100, but like Top 50 voted on by the players. I think that's like the Top 100 is always cool just to listen to the it's all current players, obviously. So it's nice to listen to the current players give a lot of praise to those guys who we all talk about.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes maybe like you don't think that current players watch other current players.
Oh, they do.
Because they're all playing at the same time. So like, unless you're playing Sunday night or Monday night, you're not watching those games, but they do. They know what's up.
The receivers look at each other.
Yeah. And they all know that player X is dope, even though like the media or people like us might not see it the same way. I mean, who are you gonna believe? The guy who's actually playing the game, or a couple guys like you and me, right?
Yeah, no, they're gonna believe them for sure. The big thing. So I'm one that has I would say the Bills since Josh Allen, maybe his second year. Like what I always try to draft Josh Allen some sort of way. I watched him some, I would say, in Wyoming. It wasn't a lot because Wyoming's clearly not coming on over here all the time. But I think that was the same year when it was Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold. It was all them in that same draft, I think.
Yes, I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah, so it's just good to see Josh Allen. Yeah, because it was the two Joshes. And it's just good to see them, well, more so him, flourishing in this setting, getting that contract, whereas the rest of them, they kind of just are doing their own thing. Like
I think Josh Rosen just signed with like his fourth or fifth team and since he came in the league.
That's not good.
Where was he at?
You said Josh Rosen?
Oh yeah, UCLA, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing over there. But yeah, congratulations to Josh Allen on that. A big thing I wanted to bring up is they got another receiver. So they got Emmanuel Sanders out there too, which is really helpful because you have Emmanuel Sanders and you have Cole Beasley, which opens up the field a lot for Stephon Diggs. They're still going to sling it down to Stephon a lot of the time, but Cole Beasley is that amazing grade A white slot receiver. Like every team needs to have that person. I remember Kevin Curtis when he played for the Eagles and the Rams. Wes Welker was that same way. You had Damian Amendola, and then
Wayne Corbett.
Yeah,
Wayne Corbett with the Jets. Speaking of Cole Beasley, did you hear that he got put into their
funny?
Yeah, he got put into their COVID protocol, and he's got to be home for like 5 to 7 days or something like that because he was in close contact with someone who had COVID after the whole I
don't want to get a vaccination.
Yeah, after that.
Don't say that stuff and then this happens. But we don't need to go into that. What's the other New England Patriots? I'm forgetting him. Slot receiver that just retired.
Oh, Julian Edelman.
Yes. So they're all kind of in that same category. What's crazy because Cole Beasley came alive more. A lot more people know about him now, but he was with the Cowboys and it was just different.
He was killing it.
He was killing it there too. Yeah. So he'll get you the points. I remember one week I had Josh Allen, Cole Beasley, and Stephon Diggs all in my starting fantasy lineup. It did do well for me. But because he'll do well in PPR, Cole Beasley, don't get him if you're just trying to end up getting regular points. Promise you, he's not going to get you 100 yards a game. He'll get you 7 to 8 catches and maybe 40, 50 yards. But those will be important first downs or something. He's going to get you. But we can get off of that and then go into our For the Culture section. So with the For the Culture, we try to always do like various different things. And today's For the Culture is going to be music. So Stephen and I talked about this early in the week and then earlier in the day. So Stephen, top 3 to 5 for your For the Culture.
So we did, so I was thinking about today, like how we should really like do like the For the Culture, like what it should be geared around. And I think we should take like those early 2000 years, like the simple times for people our age.
Yeah.
You know, like from like 2000 to like 2000 and at least for me, like 2008, before I went to high school and everything. Those times, like middle school, was dope. Like time of my life. No cares whatsoever, no responsibilities whatsoever. School was easy. Like it was just, music was great. Like that early 2000s era of hip hop and everything was, we all went through those phases. Funny story speaking about that. That was like the era of the 5950 fitted hats.
Yes.
The jerseys, people wore jerseys all the time. Like the 3XL jerseys, the big jeans,
They did.
3XL white tees,
Yes.
the Air Force Ones. You know, that was just how it was. I convinced my older sister to buy me not one but two, from eBay, silver dollar chains. Like the emblem, like the dollar sign logo was like that big, and like the fake diamonds in it and everything. And like I wore it to school like a lot. And every time I walked into class, my teacher's like, "Dude, just put that away. I'm not
Take this
like
shit
you're
off."
not like you're not. Yeah, take that shit off. Like take that shit off, you fucking weirdo. Like why are you doing that right now?" But I'm sure you can imagine me walking around school wearing that. Like, it's a very Steven thing to do. But nonetheless, hopefully some of these songs resonate with our audience and they'll go listen to them and bring back some good memories. But I did 5 songs. I have a lot more, but I just did the 5 that always really were like those songs when they came on, and they still come on. Like these are the songs I will not skip.
Yeah. Oh my God.
These are the songs I will not skip. Air Force Ones by Nelly.
Oh yeah.
Banger. Family Affair by Mary J. Blige. Banger.
Wow.
Good Life by Kanye. Banger.
Yeah.
Riding Rims by Dem Franchise Boys.
Oh.
Another banger. Shout out to my boy Brad back in State College. And then Soul Survivor by Akon and Young Jeezy.
Yeah.
Those are my 5 songs where when they come on, usually I'm listening to them at the gym. Man, that just turns everything up a notch.
It switches it.
I wish kids these days understood that what they're listening to is not music.
Like, see, that's what, yeah.
Like the rap and the hip hop, that's not music. Like the beats are cool and everything, but like that's not like rap and hip hop. Like that's not what it is. Like everybody has their definition of what it is, but like what we had growing up, what we had when we were their age, that was real shit. That was what was gonna get the party going. This stuff today, every single artist first name is Lil.
Yeah, like, it is.
Little baby, little cup, little pen, little light, little everything, dude. Like little shut up, dude. like we all put out the same music too. Like bitches and money and guns and drugs.
Every time.
Granted, it was all the same back then. Like it's all the same, just like everything was just better back then. Everything was better. You had better artists, you had more well-known artists, and it just created a better culture for people like us.
Yeah.
So shout out to the music back in the day.
So the ones that I'm about to bring up, of course, every kid, more so like every Black kid, boy, lived in the barbershop. So some of these are going to be straight from the barbershop. You knew it was going to come on every single time you went there. But before I get to that, number 1 song, Womanizer. It's like, I'm joking.
Yo.
No.
You had me in the first half.
So number 1, well, not in any particular order, but Outkast, I Like the Way You Move. That always was playing in every single barbershop. You had like everyone in there. It was kind of like their jamming song. The second one, I still to this day, any interview I go on or any big time meeting I go to, I play this song, Lose Yourself by Eminem. It's just one of those things that I kind of have to do.
That's just a classic. Yeah.
It's one of the, like, all right, you probably were nervous or a little bit. Put that on, let Rabbit go to work, then you're on another level of that one. Me being from New York, this was just always a good song. So Empire State of Mind with Alicia Keys and then Jay-Z. It was older Jay, but it was still a better song.
A beat still goes.
Yes, it really does. So wild story, and I'll continue. But so I go see my friend down in San Diego, and we'll go hiking like on the mountains and stuff. Before Alicia Keys moved into the house, we saw the house Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats lives in. Stupid house, like just looks right over top of the water, like glass windows, like pool out there, nothing like a infinity pool. It's just wild. Just looking at that. But shout out to the people that live out in San Diego, up on the hills and stuff. Another song, so Yeah by Usher, Lil Jon, and Ludacris was, of course, one of those that were just up there.
yeah, absolutely.
And then after that, so for me, just right around my mom. So my mom's a big like R&B soul type of person, but there's one artist that you can always just play and it was fine. You can almost play half of Justin Timberlake's music. So a lot of those songs, smooth Justin Timberlake, like My Love, and Senorita, like those, whenever I would DJ like Daddy Daughter dances, play on some of those, like it's a wrap. Like you'll just be fine because you
would DJ what?
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on a second. Whoa. Time the hell out, bro. We're gonna circle back on that next week. I'm writing that down right now. That Christian used to DJ.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm writing that down. We're gonna go over that next week. We're gonna talk about you're gonna tell us some of your playlists if you still have them. So
absolutely.
Continue on.
So that was main ones for me. I also kind of had like a small little asterisk because half the MySpace crew listened to some sort of Soulja Boy, but it wasn't one of those in the top 5. But MySpace, you kind of thought of Soulja Boy was a big thing during that time. I didn't want to put Bow Wow there, but like Bow Wow kind of got all his songs too that you can put there. I legit, it was like the Lil Romeo and Lil Bow Wow time where I had the braids, tried to act like just like them. That Allen Iverson Bow Wow Romeo phase was kind of how it was. But those were my songs. I could go into like all the Ying Yang Twins, Lil Jon songs, the Mystical, the Slow Motion, all those, but we'd be here forever if you go into any of those. So that's everything with my songs. Steven, what you got for everyone?
We're not here. I'm gonna go listen to a lot of early 2000s hip hop and just let the music flow. Yo, shout out to music though, bro.
Yeah.
Music gets you through a lot of shit. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of music you listen to. Like, we all have our go-to songs, our guilty pleasure songs. Shout out to Mariah Carey for that. Yeah. Like, music is just like really brings like a lot of things. Like, it kind of like calms everything down. Like, you're just having like some shit day, pop on some good tunes. Like, that was a big thing with our kids. Like, we started playing music right when the kids came out. Like, just get them like, they love music, love to dance. It just like kind of puts you in a good place, puts you in a good happy spot. So shout out to music for always being there, and it's never going anywhere. So, well, hopefully the music of today goes away.
Yeah, goes somewhere, and then we get new music.
Yeah.
Only things I got. So shout out to everyone, and I guess Lonely Aliens, Space Club, one for showing love out to Steven, and then always just showing love. The floor for their prices are continuing to go up. I know it's over $1,500 for any of the Lonely Aliens, so congratulations to them. Thank you for everyone that's been supporting the videos that we end up putting out. I know one of our videos has 375 views now. So that's
last week.
I know it ain't last.
It ain't last week,
dude. So I'm really hyped. A shout out to everyone in our fantasy football league, because that's something that we'll get some of them on the show to end up talking about the picks when we go through them. So I should be confirming all that information this upcoming week, and then I'll be able to let everyone out there know when we will be going live for that. Stay tuned next week for the interviews we do have coming up. And a big shout out just goes out to everyone in cryptocurrency and everyone out there that support us most often. So with that, we out. We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.